Welcome back to you. Let's talk about No Time to Die. After months of delay, the 25th official James Bond film was finally released in cinemas. An epic 2 hour 43 minutes action film, making it the longest of the series. And all the wait and delay feels justified, as the film was meant to be experienced in a theatre with a screen running from wall to wall. I'm personally very fond of the 007 series, as it was key in my introduction to cinema outside India, and I had watched several Bond films before watching Casino Royale.
James Bond.
I was enamored by Sean Connery, as his personality defined James Bond as a character. But when I watched Casino Royale, it felt like a much-needed shot of epinephrine has been injected to the series by Daniel Craig. He was an intelligent and effective brute-killing machine working for the British government, far from the conventional suave James Bond that I had seen.
Yes. Considerably.
But by the end of his tenure as James Bond, Daniel Craig has made it his own, making it a difficult act to follow. The film begins with Madeline as a young girl and the horror that she endured at the hands of a man in a white no mask, who has come to her house to kill her father, who was a Spectre member and had murdered the masked man's family. So Madeline, in her way, has emerged as an orphan from a chain of vengeance. Then we cut to the present, and a retired Bond and an adult Madeline are cruising through the beautiful roads of southern Italy in his iconic Aston Martin DB5. When Madeline tells him to drive faster, he says,
We don't need to go faster. We have all the time in the world.
But the past catches up to Bond and Spectre agents hunt them down. Bond blames Madeline.
What happened?
How did they know I was here?
And amidst the chase, we witness a riveting scene of pure inaction. He feels betrayed and questions the meaning of it all. The windows of his bulletproof car don't look that secure now, yet Bond does nothing. He conveys his silent passive fury. I know you betrayed me. Who cares if we live or die? And just to abandon Madeline, he saves her.
Okay. You'll never see me again.
Then Bond goes off the grid for 5 years. It's his brother from Langley, Felix Leiter, played by the wonderfully laid-back Jeffrey Wright, who brings back Bond in
2
action.
days ago, his mug pinged on a facial recognition sweep in Santiago de Cuba.
He heads to Cuba, where Spectre is holding a kind of underworld convention, all built around the criminal cult's stolen possession of Project Heracles, a chemical weapon project that targets the DNA. The contagion element, as conceived in the script, predates the COVID, but it acquires a nauseating resonance, especially when we learn that M has a darker agenda than usual.
It was designed to be the most efficient weapon in our arsenal.
In the olden days, Project Heracles could have emerged only from a villainous mastermind. Now, it's a power that the good guys want in their possession.
If the world knows what this can do,
They'd kill for it.
The shootout in Cuba moves like a dance scene between James and Paloma, played by Ana de Armas, finding each other's rhythms. And the fact that these two don't drop right into bed like the old days does not deprive it of the ripe erotic charge between the two.
Next time, stay longer.
I will.
We are also introduced to the new 007, Nomi, played with a dry sauciness by Lashana Lynch. She symbolizes about Bond making the way for the new world.
Very young.
I achieved that.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The world's moved on since you retired, Commander Bond.
Then Bond and Madeline are reunited through Ernst Stavro Blofeld, played by Christoph Waltz. Now in a padded cell in London, yet he hasn't lost the control.
She led you straight there from the goodness of her heart. And then you left her.
He can still play with the mind of Bond.
My poor little cuckoo.
Then we move on to an engrossing encounter in a foggy forest and come down to the main confrontation with the villain, Lucifer Safin, played by Rami Malek, with a muted, self-serious disassociation. Issues of parenting, lineage, and legacy of hate permeate Safin's every move. Safin has headquartered himself on a remote island where he's perfecting his poison in his garden and everything that he plans to do with it. In what I felt was one of the funniest scenes, instead of imploding with anger, He just displays irritation.
Off you go.
Malik, with his hollowed eyes and caressing voice, makes Safin feel like a depraved monk.
We tell each other lies about the fight for free will and independence, but
making him a hypnotic creep.
we want to be told how to live.
Bond is there to save the world. He's there to save Madeline and Mathilde. And he's also there to save himself. Can he succeed in all the three? That's the climax. In the climactic scene, we see him succeed and then fail. He is shot and poisoned by Safin. And we witness another brilliant scene of Daniel Craig's prowess as an actor. He goes through a range of emotions in a few seconds. The shock of getting shot, the realization of getting poisoned, and the acceptance that he's the poison for whom he loved. He accepts his fate and kills Safin in the most banal manner. He's broken inside and out. But he's content with giving what he could.
You have all the time in the world.
In times when traditional tropes of a Bond film have been adopted and modified through films like Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne, and to some extent by superhero movies, you need an ingenious weave of elements. The perfectly layered rhythm of brashly timed fights, great escapes, bedazzling chases, delectable quips, and cool gadgets, along with witty one-upmanship and the ultimate in the word domination stakes in order to make a fantastic cinematic James Bond experience.
I know.
The director Cary Joji Fukunaga keeps the elements in balance like an ace juggler, weaving in the elements of horror, macabre, and a spy story.
Why don't we play with the ideas of trust that exist, or these themes of lack of trust that have existed since Casino Royale? Show a little bit of this anecdote, which, you know, in the canon the fans will know, but it's a great teaser, and then set up this, you know, the villain out of these first 4 minutes. And it does have elements of horror, which I think maybe are outside of the normal Bond film. But it's, you know, it's still the exhilarating form of horror. So I think it does still come into the thrilling aspect.
He gets the details right, from the extra second in the action scene to the British whimsical charm of Banwishaw's performance as Q.
You know, every 10 minutes you're in this story, and it just keeps progressing and pushing and propelling forward, and doesn't really, you know, give you a full respite to kind of tune out and think about something else. It keeps you hopefully engaged all the way through. And in that moment, as we're getting towards the end of the film, it's like we're propelling them to that final section. So we need that last little bit of adrenaline, I think, injected in it.
The film is also beautifully shot by cinematographer Linus Sandgren with 65mm IMAX film cameras, which lends the movie a colossal quality. The frantic Werner in the climatic fight pulls you right in the action and conveys to the audience why Bond is Bond. He's a force to reckon with. But the brilliance of the director also lies in creating a romance in Bond after Casino Royale and taking the love story with Madeline forward. He took the additional help of brilliant writers like Phoebe Waller-Bridge, along with series veterans Robert Wade and Neil Purvis, to develop the characters of the film and making them memorable. The character of Madeline is wonderfully crafted to display her beauty as well as her flaws. And it's played judiciously by Léa Seydoux.
And I wanted, like, not to think about the fact that we were like in a James Bond film, but really like a love story between a man and a woman. And so for that, Cary was great, because he wrote those scenes, you know, those very intimate scenes. And
there are enough homages paid to the classic Bond that satisfies any franchise lover, from the use of Aston Martin V8 Vantage to the gun barrel sequence being recreated in the climactic fight. While designing Safin's lair, production designer Mark Tilsley also derives from the work of legendary Can Adams, who worked on the 7 of the early Bond films. Even the theme song of Billie Eilish is kind of a subdued version of the classical Bond themes, and it will hopefully go down in history in lines of Goldfinger by Shirley Bassey and Skyfall by Adele. All the traditional characters like M, Moneypenny, Q and Felix Leiter have been given their due, and all the respective actors played them with finesse.
Just the usual, just the usual.
No Time to Die is definitely an unabashedly conventional Bond film that's been made with high workmanship, but it's more than that. It has just the right touch of soul, as well as enough sleek surprises to keep you on edge. But more than anything, it's the movie about letting go and long goodbyes. While Bond lets go of his past and his inability to trust, the audience lets go of James Bond himself. With this movie, the creative choices of the producers and all the people involved in making this film have literally shaken up the franchise and stirred emotions among audiences, giving Bond the send-off and culminating his arc.
I wanted to bring all that we'd sort of put into the past 4 movies and try and round them off in this movie. That was so important to me. And the fact that I'd been given this chance to tell a story from the beginning was like, that's one of the biggest difference I think with the movies I've made, is that we've had a link from the beginning, and we certainly try and tie that link from the beginning to this one.
Though Bond will return, as the title reads at the end of the film, Daniel Craig will remain a Bond to beat. And this is why I love No Time to Die. I hope you like the video. If you like it, please do subscribe, share it with your friends. And thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you for your support. And till next time, stay safe and have a good time.